women for over 30 years.
Call now for a free in-person or virtual evaluation. 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. I'm Molly McDonald for 1010XL. This update is brought to you by YMCA. The Miami Hurricanes beat ranked Texas A&M in a statement win 48-33. Head coach Mario Cristobal shared how this win was a massive step for the program.
All in all, just a massive step for the program. We knew that. I mean, we knew they're a really good football team. I mean, they've recruited better than anybody in the country over the last 3 years. So they're loaded to the gills. But we work hard, we practice hard, we train hard, we prepare hard. We felt that if we eliminated mistakes, we'd eventually take over the game, and we did.
Gators baseball star Jack Caglione will be awarded the 2023 IABF Future Star Award. Caglione was a first-team All-American in the 2023 season who started all 71 games for the Gators and will be recognized at the IABF Gala this November. It's 77 degrees at 10:02. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Oh, we've been strong. We're just playing by the rules. You can't have a newcomer come in and steal a show.
I don't want to give away too much, but I like everything that we're doing. Quarterback, come on.
Can't wait. I mean, me and him are equally as excited to play together because he's obviously hadn't played. He hadn't been on the field in forever. So just seeing him, how he's worked, I think that makes me more excited than anything. Like, he's so ready to go.
Without going crazy, the stuff that everyone gets excited about with Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley can easily do the same things. A lot of people have forgotten about Calvin Ridley.
And I've been plugging myself in pretty good, and I like it. I like what I'm going to be able to do.
Tyson's been really good. Really good, had a really good camp. A young player that kind of picked up where he left off a year ago.
Dropping the throw is Dobbs. Looking, fires deep downfield, and that ball is picked off, but Tyson Campbell running it back along the right sideline inside the 30. He's knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. What a play by Tyson Campbell.
And I feel like he's going to be a top 5 corner by the end of this year. That's what I'm saying.
There's some good quarterbacks in the AFC for sure, and if you want to be the best, you gotta beat the best. I mean, that's how it's set up for us. Same thing. Last year we had our shot, and we said after the game we're gonna get our shot again. And when it comes, we just gotta be ready for it, and that's all you can control.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and
Hold my pocket,
Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. Middle of the week, we start to turn away from the Jaguars' season-opening victory. It will always count, and turn our eyes towards the incoming Kansas City Chiefs. Johnny O will join us in hour 2 of the program. Good morning, Tony Smith. How are you?
Good morning. Doing well.
Pockets.
Yes, sir.
We've got a new award, you're telling me.
Yes.
Huh? I love this from our friend Al Stewart. It somehow escaped my attention on Monday's broadcast.
Yeah, so apparently we have a, let me read this. It's an unofficial weekly Jaguars Today Pocket Holder Award.
Ooh.
It's given to the opponent player of the Jags' own dominated, shamed, or clowned. And so this week, everybody in the AFC South lost except for the Jags. So the Pocket Holder Awarder is Colts, Texans, Titans.
So all 3 teams collectively got it this week. All right.
Yes, because they're all owned.
Now, is this an award only given out if the Jaguars win?
I'm not sure.
It would be.
I'll get back to you.
I'm not too into celebrating clowning somebody who beat you. You know what I mean? So, and it is an unofficial award. So nice to see that Pockets is kind of taking over the broadcast space right now. All right. This morning, Tone, we'll hear from Doug Peterson, Josh Allen, Zay Jones, among others, and we'll debate what's the single biggest factor among the ones we threw out there in terms of beating the Kansas City Chiefs. And, for years it was run the football, right? It was the key to success in the National Football League. It's just not that way anymore. We threw something in there about running the football, knowing it was not going to get votes like the other things were, but still getting some support there. I mean, when you look at these options, if you knew you could do one thing exceedingly well this week, cover Travis Kelce. Yeah, that's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah.
Pressure Patrick Mahomes. And I would assume that with pressure, you're getting some sacks. It's not just like pressure, we can't get to him, he's ripping us apart. That's kind of, you know what I mean, right?
That's been his career. But
It is, but it's kind of baked into the question, I think, that if we're talking about a key to the Jaguars' success, that pressure will lead to some good fruit. And maybe, we're talking about maybe going with individual matchups here, like Josh Allen versus Jawan Taylor is going to be one to watch, and we'll hear Josh Allen talk about that later on. Or is it, as it may always be to you, protect Trevor Lawrence? As some have said, we've already look, if we can't cover Kelce, we're dead. The only way to beat an elite quarterback is to pressure him, meaning Mahomes. If we protect Trevor, we have a chance in every game. And somebody else said, hey, good running game is a key to keeping the ball away from Patrick Mahomes and Kelce, and that'll take pressure off Trevor Lawrence as well. So they've all got their proponents at this point in time. I'm not opposed to doing a little bit of all of this.
I think you probably need to most weeks if you're going to beat the Chiefs.
Right?
Yeah.
And
the Lions got lucky in that they didn't even have to deal with the Kelce part of that equation.
Kelce or Jones.
Right,
like
that kind of thing. So that was off their list of things we have to be ready to excel at if we're going to beat the Chiefs this week.
And beat them by a point.
Yeah, and that's with – look, I didn't think Mahomes was all that sharp throwing the ball downfield last week. But you go back and look at his numbers from the game last week. What did he wind up, like mid to low?
Like 228,
something like
that.
that. And he had how many drops from his guys? The one interception he had
from Tony alone.
Right, like the one interception he had is one that hits his guy in the hands and winds up in a pick six going the other way, and you lose the game by 1 point. Like all those things go in the Lions' favor, and they win by one. Right, like this is a really good Chiefs team that's going to be coming in here on Sunday, and it looks like they're going to be coming in with Kelce, with Jones, right? Like the team is Jones probably not going to be the 50 snap guy, but he's back for this team, and he's going to have some kind of impact on the game because for the past 3-4 years, when Chris Jones plays, he generally has an impact on whatever game he's playing.
Every game.
No
doubt.
It is a different kind of test than even what the Lions saw in week 1. Going up against this Chiefs team in week 2. Doesn't mean I don't think the Jags can win. I think they can, but I think it does go into what do you prioritize among these options today in our poll.
Right. If I'm Detroit, I don't feel bad. You can drop 50 passes.
I
don't care. We got to win.
Don't
right?
care.
It doesn't matter. But what it does is when you're looking ahead to the next performance, if you're counting on it being as sloppy as it was, look, if Travis Kelce wants to have the worst day of his life and drop 3 short touchdowns, and he bobbles them right to Jaguar defenders. Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Baby, I don't care.
Yeah.
Let's walk out of there with a healthy victory. Health is still pretty paramount.
Yeah, let that be the 3 touchdowns that Kelce drops this week. Let that be the entire discussion when they have to come here in January.
Absolutely.
Right?
Right.
Fine.
Oh, if only they would have been playing this one in Kansas City. Well, too bad.
Too bad.
Right. So, preferably, Trevor Lawrence will throw 5 touchdowns this week, and the Jags defense will build on a pretty strong performance in week 1.
That's the ideal.
And they'll win it 35-13, and that would be fantastic. But, this is the National Football League, and savor every single victory. So you can savor Jaguar football with us today. We will get to some audio comments made in the last 48 hours or so from Doug Peterson, Zay Jones, Josh Allen along the way as we get you ready for John Oehser coming up in hour number 2. But you're welcome to be a part of the program in a number of ways here. 641-1010 works on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines, also works on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can hit us up on social media at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark. Hold my pocket! We're not going with 1010XL Pockets anytime soon, are we, on the social media platform? All right, just checking. Just seeing how that worked. And, of course, the YouTube chat, where we always encourage you to let us know where you're listening or, on the case of the video, watching the program from. That is always fun. I saw a great picture. I don't know if it's even a new one, but somebody had taken it of a picture in Antarctica of like a glacier, right, that was rising straight up out of the water. So if you can picture in your mind's eye a photo with the glacier on the right side, right, going from the ocean all the way up to the top of the frame, okay? So in the upper left, you've got the sky. In the lower left, you've got the ocean without the shadow of the massive glacier. In the upper right, you've got the glacier, and in the bottom right, you've got the ocean where the glacier is casting a shadow, and it's perfectly divided into four. I just thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
Saw that this morning. So
Cool photo, yeah.
that's out there. I'm digging that. All right, hit us up today in a variety of ways. Let us know what you're digging, Jaguar-related or otherwise, for that matter. Which of these things is the most important factor if the Jags are going to beat the Chiefs in Week 2? Cover Travis Kelce. Etienne and Bigsby rush for 125+. That's kind of the mark we came up with. Jags roughly rush for, if you take a Christian Kirk reverse out of the mix and you take Trevor Lawrence out of the mix, Jags basically had 100 yards rushing in the playoff game against Kansas City. Obviously, it wasn't enough. They lost by a score. I'm not saying 125 is magical, but we had to come up with some kind of an arbitrary number.
Sure.
So that seems like a pretty big day if Etienne and Bigsby can combine for 125. Is it pressure Patrick Mahomes and all that goes with it? Hopefully pressure him into some mistakes and get some sacks along the way. Or is it simply protect your guy, Trevor Lawrence, and that'll give you the best chance? So you can vote for that on Twitter, or what's passing for Twitter these days. We've already got over 200 votes in on that one, and it's only been up there for maybe 35, 40 minutes at this point in time. All right, so Tony Smith is here. Dylan Denmark is here. Invite you to be a part of the program. John Ogier in hour number 2. Plenty to discuss, plenty to hear from the Jags. I'm Mike Dempsey. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Happy to report the Thompson family continues to keep all the cold cases stocked at area gate stations all around Jacksonville. You know it's hot, and you know you're going to roll into a gate station, fill up on some fuel, and maybe enjoy a little AC just to cool off for a minute, and then you realize, oh, what's that grumbling in my stomach? Yeah, it's time to eat again. Dandy's got your back. Dandy and the Anytime Deli line of sandwiches and subs like the hot roast beef and provolone, the Italian combo that'll melt in your mouth, the all-white meat spicy buffalo chicken, and, of course, the big old juicy classic 100% beef cheeseburger. Just a few of the entrees that Dandy is serving up, all on fresh ciabatta bread. All those offerings, by the way. They've got something for everybody. I love that classic tuna salad, but they're going to have a sandwich with your name all over it, made with the highest quality ingredients, and the prices are always going to put a smile on your face. Great variety, always fresh, always delicious. That's Dandy. When you're hungry, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
It's another Weight Loss Wednesday. Awaken 180 Weight Loss in the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios, where the pros go.
I thought the guys battled for 4 quarters. They played hard. They played tough.
Now fires toward the end zone, back in the end zone, caught for the touchdown! Calvin Ridley, his first score!
I had a couple explosive plays there and thought he really did a good job.
Not surprised to me. He played great.
The Jags have stuffed them on 4th down for the 3rd time today.
Defense really kept us in the game.
Creating takeaways. They did that.
Intercepted by Tyson Campbell.
We pick each other up. We feed off one another. That's what makes teams great, and we got to continue to do that.
Next up, the Kansas City Chiefs.
We're going in the right direction. I want to play a meaningful game.
Sunday at 1 on the home of the Jaguars, 1010XL.
If your hair is thinning and you're looking for an easy solution that will restore your hair, check out IHRS PRP Platelet-Rich Plasma. PRP, using your own platelets and cells to restore your hair where it's thinning. Combined with their FDA-approved laser hair therapy and pharmaceutical-grade products, all 3 will deliver one better result. Call IHRS now for a free evaluation and to find out if their PRP 45-minute treatment will work for you. Now there is a solution for any man or woman with any degree of hair loss, and it's all in one place. Call 904-777-IHRS. IHRS has been restoring hair for over 30 years. The staff at IHRS knows what it's like to lose their hair, and that's why they're ready to help you grow your hair back.
Schedule your free hair and scalp analysis today. Call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
Did you know the 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid never needs to be plugged in? The onboard system charges the batteries for you. When you think Honda, think hybrid. Good for the environment, great for your budget. Visit your local Honda dealer to experience the CR-V of the future today.
More than qualified to handle your roof. Call J&M and we'll show you the proof. Check with our customers and they all say only one way to go, the J&M way.
Hurricane season is now through late October. Your home sustains damage, don't wait. Call us, J&M Roofing, storm restoration specialist. J&M Roofing, under the umbrella. Call 904-337-0509.
License number CCC 1331951.
Frank Frangie here for Ponte Vedra Hearing Associates. They understand that no two ears are the same. That's why they offer custom-fit hearing solutions tailored specifically to your needs. Already have hearing aids and still not hearing well? Ponte Vedra Hearing Associates services all makes and models and offers a free 10-point cleaning check of your current aids. Call 404-5108. That's 404-5108 or visit PonteVedraHearing.com today.
He was number 55, and he's still our middle linebacker. You're gonna lose, Tom McManus.
It was like he didn't know what to do.
Friday from 10 to noon, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
You know, real estate research right now says housing prices are still rising slowly and inventory is still below historical averages. That means if you think your home right now is unsellable or there's a host of problems, then you haven't met Chad and Sandy, who will make sure those problems become promises. Chad and Sandy are the only real estate experts we trust and recommend with the sale of your home. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts. Derek and Ashley out in St. John's Harbor said we were building a new home, but we had a big problem. 2 months on the market, and we had no showings and no offers with another agent. We were super stressed. Then we heard Chad and Sandy guarantee sale on the radio and hired them. They created an amazing plan to sell quickly and maximize price. The home sold in 10 days for more money than the previous realtor had listed. That's the promise and the proof of ChadandSandy.com. Go there today, ChadandSandy.com, or call them in office, 904-414-6200.
Did you know that all graduates of Local 234's apprenticeship program are licensed journeymen? That means all plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC techs will have hundreds of hours of experience and have passed the Jacksonville City Licensed Journeyman exam. They're the best trained and safest skilled tradespeople in the industry. Don't leave yourself exposed to inadequate workmanship or even danger. Always hire a licensed journeyman. Local 234. Make the right connection. Equal opportunity employer.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Studios.
Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Osher. Brought to you by
Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
On 1010XL.
Yep, Johnny O coming up in about 40 minutes here on the program this morning. We get the latest thoughts from the senior writer from Jaguars.com. Tony, let's take care of some business here. First on this teal out. Right? People keep asking about the teal out. First of all, I'm going to wear teal on Sunday to the game, but I generally try to wear teal to the home games anyway. But the Jags, sent out like a release a few weeks ago?
Yeah. It was different, like Military Appreciation Day, like that kind of thing. This is the week where they're planning on doing X, Y, and Z going through the season, and the first week was listed as teal out.
Okay.
At least on that release, so we'll see.
I know that's filtered out to some people because a lot of people are asking me, have the Jags made this announcement? Is this what the Jags want us to do? Well, wear your teal, and it won't be an issue.
Yeah.
You should wear teal all the time.
It makes sense. It's the home opener.
Right.
It's a rematch against the team that beat you in the playoffs last year. Right?
I get it. White's
season.
probably cooler when it's September in Florida. So whatever, man.
Yeah.
Wear whatever you're going to wear. It's not going to, in the end, I don't think the Jags are going to score an extra point if you wear your teal jersey or not.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to, give that sea of teal feel to the stadium, to the folks who are used to playing in front of a sea of red, then let's do it for Sunday. Secondly, pockets.
Yes, sir.
What's on the menu tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
I'm thinking about biscuits, Maple Street biscuit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think that's what we'll do.
Just give me a heads up. I got to find out what Taylor wants for breakfast. And then don't think I'm kidding. You'll be buying me breakfast. Whether I'll be eating it will be another question.
Yes.
To be sure.
It's on me.
Breakfast bowl, week 1, pockets, big fat L.
Yes.
D-Rock.
So depressing.
Escapes by the skin of his teeth.
So depressing.
Yeah. It's all right. Don't pick players who are hurt. It's a good life lesson.
It's a good takeaway. That's terrible. For week 1.
Week 1, right out of the gates. We're like, oh, here we go. Love it, man. We got an ET replacement right here. ET smacked my butt in the Jaguars Today Fantasy League.
He did.
Point that out. Even without, honestly, I attribute a lot of it to the Dallas defense, and this is true, but if you had just a normal defensive outing, he would have won the game. If he scored like 8 points or something, he would have won the game anyway. But 2-1 in the listener leagues, I was all right with that.
Yep, me too.
13-4 overall, week 1.
I was 6-2.
Okay.
Overall.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
It's a good week.
Yeah, it's a good week. Not the best ever, not the worst ever. So there you go. We move on. All right, let's get to, see if I can find the appropriate, here it is. We're going to get to some Doug Peterson thoughts, going to get to some Zay Jones and some Josh Allen. All speaking, who's talking today, by the way? Is it press?
I think
Caldwell?
So. I think that's correct.
Is it coordinator day? I think that's the case.
Open up the calendar here and
see. You know what?
Yeah.
We'll bring you some of that audio either later in the show or perhaps tomorrow morning with D-Rock. But let's start off here. What we saw from the Jags. Not a finished product, obviously, but some encouraging things, some things they need to clean up after 1 week. I think that's the case for everyone not named the Dallas Cowboys this week. Not a whole lot to critique negatively about the Dallas Cowboys' performance in week 1, maybe the 49ers and a couple of others. So, some room still to grow for the Jags. And Doug Peterson said, look, that's the case every year. NFL teams are a work in progress in week 1.
You saw it around the league, I think, with offenses and defenses that, week 1's not going to decide your season at all. How many times have you seen teams jump out 4, 5, 6-0 and then, falter in December and January? And you want to be one of the teams that are going the other direction, want to be going up in December and January. So, yeah, it was good to get the win. But overall, we've got some corrections to make. We got to get better. Communication has to get better, and we'll work on those this week.
I don't disagree with what he's saying, and I understand you want momentum going into the playoffs. Week 1 doesn't win you anything, but Tony, I'm sorry, week 1 counts as much as every other week.
It does,
right? I mean, at the end of the day, if you get into the playoffs by 1 game or you win a higher seed by 1 game, you could point it back to week 1 potentially and say, hey, that might have been the difference for us. And yes, I'd rather be red hot going into the playoffs, but we've seen teams sneak in there as the 6th seed in years past and get hot at the right time. So getting in, putting yourself in the best position possible, you can't do it in week 1, but you can put yourself behind in week 1, and the Jags didn't do that.
No, they certainly didn't. And look, it was a game that felt like it felt fluky, right? Like watching the game was like, oh my, how? Like, how does that play happen?
Right, they're down. If you feel like, at least I felt like they had been the better team. I wouldn't say go as far as to say dominated.
No.
Then you find them behind in the third quarter, and you're like, this is not making any sense to me.
It doesn't feel right. When you were watching the game, well, they won by 10. They get the win, and I get what Coach is saying. Yeah, teams are a work in progress in week 1. That doesn't mean that you don't need to win the games early when you got the opportunity to win. They found a way to do that. By the way, it is Coach Peterson and Trevor Lawrence speaking today. Coach will be talking here in about 10 minutes this morning, and Trevor will be later this afternoon. But Coach Peterson also said earlier this week that they just need to get better when it comes to third down. That's something we've talked about through the first couple days this week.
Our execution, honestly. Nothing nothing, out of the ordinary. We knew exactly where they were going to be defensively and just, execution. We were laid off the ball a couple of times with the noise and things like that. So things we can correct and things we can fix. But those are all opportunities. I think when you look at the, third and fourth down scenarios that we had in the game, if you would have told me that we'd have been average 3rd and 4 for the entire game, you would be in that 60-70% range of conversion. And so those are things we'll take a look at and we got to fix.
Yeah, look, no doubt. And that's one of those areas. There's a lot of improvement you can make in that particular area. You're going to have to be better this week because it's going to be more important to sustain drives. You would think that, Kansas City's offense is going to have a better showing than Indianapolis's did. Indianapolis's offense only put up the 14 points. And really, that one horrible play where everyone failed to tackle Michael Pittman contributed a lot to that. And one of the guys who did fail to tackle him was Andre Sisco. But overall, Doug Peterson thought a couple of members of his secondary, including Sisco and Campbell, really had good games.
Yeah, these guys have really settled into their roles. A lot of confidence there, 2 young players, and just excited to see the continued growth, right, and the continued development with both those guys, and 2 smart players that work extremely hard in practice during the week. Pride themselves on doing the right thing. It was unfortunate Sisco had the unnecessary roughness penalty, but those are going to happen. But overall, both guys played well, and look forward to, the weeks to come.
Yeah, I thought Tyson was as good a football player as they had on the field on Sunday, right? Like, he was right up there if you were going to grade Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley and Tyson. I think those guys played so well. Josh Allen is in that company as well, but he played so well. Sisco, we've talked about it a lot this week already. You see the weight he's put on. It showed up week 1. He is bringing bombs when he's hitting people right now on the field. And I think coaches can deal with you getting the kind of penalty he got in that situation if it's one of effort like that. It's like,
right,
darn.
Right.
It's like, I don't want you to stop being you, man. Like, when you got a shot to take at the guy like that, you take your shot. This is the National Football League. You don't do it to hurt anybody, but you got to play physical. That's who you have to be. When Richardson comes around that corner, you put it on him. Right, and Andre Sisco put it on him, and I know the Colts said he could have come back into the game if we needed him to. Cool, but you knocked him out for at least a play.
Yeah.
Right, and you did see that physicality show up for Andre Sisco there in week 1. We saw, 3rd-round rookie Tank Bigsby with a bit of a rough start to everything that was happening. He got the touchdown late, and good for him to recover. The run before that to get it to first and goal at the 1 was unbelievable with, some help from some of the guys on that offensive line. And we talked about Brenton Strange and the block he had on that play as well, but did have the interception off his hands, had the fumble that resulted in the touchdown later in the game as well. And Coach said this week that they have to be able to trust, and they do trust, Tank Bigsby despite the errors early in that game.
You trust them. You put them out there, and that's how they learn, right? He's not going to grow unless he learns, and sometimes you have to learn through failure and through mistakes and making those errors. And Tank's hard on himself. He's a guy that's going to take this game, the good and the bad. He's going to learn from it, and he'll be better this week for it. So, as a staff, we continue to we've got to trust him.
And that's one of our questions today. How much, if Tank Bigsby and ETN are able to have success on the ground, will that go towards a victory against Kansas City? That's one of your options in today's poll for the biggest factor if the Jags are going to win here coming up in week 2. Got this one on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, listening from Riverside, California, but from Duval. Encouraging to see Trayvon Walker get a sack week 1. Hopefully he can build on it week 2. Well, that's convenient because here's Doug Peterson talking about how impressed he was with both Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker.
I was. There was both those guys played extremely hard and physical, which was great. Josh, we mentioned him with the sacks and being disruptive, and it was a good start for both those guys.
All right, well, we'll hear from one of those guys, the guy with 3 sacks, Josh Allen, coming up here in a moment. Your Jaguars defensive player of the game, you would suspect. I know what you're saying about Tyson Campbell playing as well as anybody. You get a 3-sack game for a team that's been starving for pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take that out of Josh Allen. So he'll talk about that performance, but really about the matchup upcoming against the Kansas City Chiefs as well. When we return in the moment, we'll hear more from Doug Peterson, and we'll get into some audio with Zay Jones as well as he spoke coming off of his good performance in Week 1 about the rematch with the Kansas City Chiefs coming up from last year's postseason. That and more coming your way, 641-1010. If you want to be a part of it, John Ogier will join us at hour number 2. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Underdog Fantasy. Week 2 is here. Your fantasy season, well, it may already be underway, but how do you get more involved on a week-to-week basis? How do you mix it up? Underdog offers you their pick'em game. Just pick between 2 to 5 players and select whether they'll go higher or lower on one of the posted stats. Then do what you usually spend game day doing. That's kicking back and watching the game. But knowing that you can win up to 20 times your money in a single game by going 5 for 5 with Underdog's Pick'em. It's a fantasy game, but you can win real money. It's fun, and it is completely legal in the state of Florida. So head on over to Underdog's easy-to-use mobile app or website, UnderdogFantasy.com, and sign up with promo code 1010XL, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. Also, check the lobby for special mystery picks that they put in there live, which are basically giving you one leg of the pick combination that you're trying to put together. Remember, that's Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code 1010XL. Make your first deposit of $10 or more, and that deposit will get doubled by Underdog. Underdog Fantasy, you must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ncpgambling.org.
It's another Weight Loss Wednesday. Awaken 180 Weight Loss in the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios, where the pros go.
Yo, it's your boy E.T., and I'm back at it again with my instant reactions brought to you by none other than Brackish Vodka. Be sure to check them out on all social platforms. You never know what I'm going to do or say. That's E.T.'s Instant Reactions, powered by Brackish Vodka. Come on, somebody.
Jaguars football is officially back. Be there for our highly anticipated 2023 home opener Sunday, September 17th, when your AFC South champs take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Kickoff is at 1, so be sure to grab your gear and help us teal out the stands. Lock in your seats now at jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you back at the bank.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey everyone, it's football season and we wanted to go to the drawing board to make this year's predictions. Let's compare our 2 long-haired blonde all-stars. Most touchdowns, best pricing in the market, most passing yards, pays the most for your trade, most receptions, free oil changes with every purchase, Super Bowl champion, wow, customer service. I think we can make all this happen. Come see Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, where you can score big all season long.
Let John Smith Subs be your first choice for huge, mouth-watering subs and sports talk. Because John Smith Subs doesn't play games with flavor, so every visit feels like a championship celebration. Experience the thrill of the grill with specialty subs like the famous Steak Bomb and the Gator with chicken, steak, bacon, kielbasa, and a little swamp sauce. Plus a full lineup of cold and hot deli subs, including the best Cuban in Duval. Bring your big mouth to John Smith Subs on Hodges and JTB.
Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine are paying out over $640,000 this month in poker promotions. There will be exciting high-hand specials and no-limit hold'em tournaments all month. Catch Insta Paydays and game day promos at St. Augustine, $300 early bird specials at Orange Park, $500 Fridays at Jacksonville, and much more. Enjoy the best in poker and card games at Best Bet. For more information, visit bestbetjax.com.
He's not Pistol Pete, he's Pete Prisco.
Been on the wanted list almost 20 years.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins The Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Are you tired of having a plain and boring backyard? Really want to impress your family and friends this year? then stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway. Imagine hosting guests at your new outdoor kitchen, relaxing by your custom-built fireplace under a brand new pergola. Stone Core can also remodel your old pool deck and beautiful new pavers. Make your backyard wishes a reality. Visit Stone Core on Phillips Highway and let's get started at stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Racetrack is celebrating professional drivers all September with special offers at your local Pritchard Travel Center. Use your Racetrack Rewards app to earn double points on in-store purchases. Fuel up during Truck Driver Appreciation Week with $4 meal deals, a free Nathan's hot dog, and in-store giveaways. 1010XL will be live at the Pritchard store this Thursday from noon to 3. Stop by and show your CDL to win gift cards worth up to $500. Visit rttruckdrivers.com. Racetrack, whatever gets you going.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I'm here with Paige, a new friend and the owner of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Thanks to Awaken 180, I've now dropped 16 pounds in just 2 weeks, but it's not about the number. Paige, after 9 years, what continues to inspire you?
It's so inspiring to hear people change their lives and to be a part of that every day. The more people who can transform their lives and feel better and be more confident and be happier and see that change come through in every aspect of their life, not just in their weight or how they look or the clothes that they wear, but in their career and in their family and how they inspire their kids. That's why we do this.
Thanks, Paige. Changing lives without medications, the gym, or fasting. If you're ready to make a 180 with your health, choose the solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is the sports medicine leader in Northeast Florida. We're proud to be the official sports medicine provider for your hometown teams, including the Jaguars, Sharks, Axemen, Armada, and the Jumbo Shrimp. We have the most cutting-edge resources for sports medicine care, including active armor casting, Alter-G anti-gravity treadmills, and highly trained physicians and athletic trainers. JOI is truly where the pros go, and so should you.
Money Pages is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. With 20 years of helping local businesses grow, Money Pages is Jacksonville's trusted multimedia leader. Money Pages has extensive experience in magazine publishing, direct mail, digital marketing, and branding. The Money Pages complete marketing system provides advertisers with integrated fulfillment to promote your business with multiple marketing channels. To learn more about advertising locally with a brand who knows Jacksonville, visit moneypages.com.
Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying. They can also signal a major problem or electrical emergency. So leave it to the pros and Mr. Sparky.
888-8-SPARKY. Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
It's time to play Fix That Air Conditioning Problem. What do you do when your AC stops working? Contestant 1?
Put a box fan in the window?
No, that doesn't really fix the problem. Contestant 2? That's right, just call the duck.
Don't let AC problems linger. Call the pros at Duck Duck Air Conditioning. Commercial, residential, any HVAC issue or project.
When you're stuck, call the duck. 904-862-6769.
The age of light beer is here. Modelo Oro, treasured for its smooth, elevated taste and crisp, clean finish. 90 calories, 3 grams of carbs. It's the gold standard of light beer.
This is Dr. James Perry, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jags receiver Zay Jones understands the significance that this game against the Chiefs has and says the energy the fans bring playing at home can make all the difference on Sunday.
I think it's going to be awesome with our fan base being here. I know guys, families, and everyone's coming in town, and I know our fan base is very excited to have our home opener here with the energy that they bring. I think that's well known now across Jacks, the type of environment that we can have here at home. So we're all super excited about that and jacked up, but when the ball gets snapped, we still got to execute and do what we have to do.
Zay Jones, courtesy of Jaguars.com. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Oh No's
with Jaguars.com's John Osher.
Brought to you by
Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars on 1010XL.
Pocket's got a little dance groove going on right
Little
now.
head bop. Little head
Club
bop.
Pockets every Wednesday morning, first hour. Welcome to Club Pockets, ladies
Need
and gentlemen.
disco lights by
Yeah,
Lots
what's
of
some
DJs,
of the?
yeah.
We lost interest in these lights.
Yes.
Pretty quickly, didn't we?
Yeah.
Can we get a little disco strobing effect maybe going on? Pockets.
Give me one moment.
All right, thank you. DJ Delphonic on the text line. Tony checking in from Georgia. Said Pockets starting out with Maple Street biscuits for the breakfast bowl, but by week 8 it'll be Great Value frozen biscuits.
Uh-huh.
What's the cheapest anyone's ever gone? No one's ever really gone the complete cheap route. Like, I figured somebody at some point
Yeah.
would buy just a big old discount box of cereal and be like, here, have at it.
Yeah. Haven't had that yet.
Haven't had it, no. Because, the little boxes of cereal, those are not cheap.
No.
You get that, 8-pack?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little expensive to get those. I always wanted that when I was a kid. My mom's like, you're not going to eat that one or that one or that one. I'm like, this is correct.
I hope they're enjoying the light show on YouTube, by the way.
I hope they are. As much as Tony seems to be right now. How's it hitting you? Okay with it?
It's all good.
Not too distracting?
No.
All right.
It's all right.
Got this one. No, I already got that one. All right, let's move along here. Josh Allen speaking. Is this yesterday? Monday. Whenever it was.
Yeah.
It's in the last 48 hours. Players' day off yesterday, but for some reason I didn't see this posted until yesterday. But we'll get to a look-back things here, but mostly he's looking ahead to the Kansas City Chiefs. What did he feel he showed in his performance this week?
Watching the tape, there's things that I know I can get better on, but I think it was just the relentlessness and the things that you can't coach. I showed that a lot yesterday, and I want to build on that and continue to go.
Good. Keep it up.
Yeah, they need it, right? They need it from this guy. We've talked about it all offseason. Need one of these 12, 15 sack seasons from Josh Allen. And even if you're looking up in the fourth quarter of the game and saying, he's got what? Right? 3 sacks, huh?
What?
Like, when did that happen?
Yes.
The book says 3.
It does, and I get it. And you know what? I give him credit for those plays. Those were good hustle plays, and it was not the week when you had a quarterback who was going to take a bunch of 5 and 7 step drops and hang on to the football and give you traditional pass rush opportunities.
Absolutely. You get 3 sacks this week, you will be the guy talked about all week across the entire country.
Across the league, correct, right?
It'll
not
be
easy to get this
Josh Allen over and over and over everywhere. If he gets 3 against Patrick Mahomes this week, he was also asked on Monday about the matchup this week against the Chiefs.
It's Patrick Mahomes, and if Kelsey plays or not, they're a heck of a team. We're going to have to be real disciplined on our eyes this week, and we're going to have to keep him in the pocket as well. He's another guy that can scramble. He's a little wiggly, so he can run left, run right, back it up, go forward. So just to be able to stay relentless and continue to grow on that.
Well, people, we have a tendency to use phrases that don't mean literally what they mean, right? Must-win game. Well, no game's a must-win. Even if you talk about, hey, this game eliminates you from the playoffs, well, if you lose, what happens? They're going to kill you? You don't have to win it. All right, so technically not a must-win. Some people get upset with that. I don't have an issue with it. When your back's against the wall, when it's time to, show what you're made of, basically. And Josh Allen thinks it's coming early in this season, and he calls this game a must-win game for the Jaguars.
This is a game that we must win. Playoff game for us. We may see this team later down the road, so we want to get in early and we also can't lose at home. And we know our fans are going to show out and be out there, even though it's going to be really hot. We know they're going to cheer and support us, so we're really excited for that and ready to go.
It's going to be ridiculously good atmosphere. I mean, it's going to be crazy. Everybody I know, people are asking me for parking tickets, everything. Nope, don't have any of it. I got nothing for you. So sorry.
Yeah, and I think even with, the whole is any game really a must-win?
Uh-huh.
Like from that perspective, I think you can look at it that way, but I have no problem with Josh Allen
I don't either.
Feeling that way about it, right? And talking about this game that way, like looking at it saying, you know what? Playoff matchups down the road, that matters, right? AFC seeding, this matters.
Right.
The momentum getting into the season, this matters. And for everything that we feel like we can achieve, essentially is what he's saying there, this matters, right? Like winning or losing on Sunday against the Chiefs, that's a big deal to us within this room as well. It doesn't mean they can't recover if they lose on Sunday.
Of course.
It's nothing like that.
It just makes it a lot harder.
Right. They know what's on the line potentially down the road in this game against the Chiefs in week 2 with them coming in 0-1. It doesn't hurt. You know, that's the way that this whole thing has worked out, that you got a chance to put them at 0-2 when everything is said and done. Josh, you know, I've heard this comment a couple times over the last few days, but it is interesting because he was willing to critique himself last year after the games against the Chiefs in the regular season and the playoffs, and he's not done being hard on himself for the way that he played in those 2 games. And he says that for him, this game on Sunday against Kansas City is personal.
I mean, personally, it's a little personal for me, man, because the last 2 times I played him last year, I wasn't at my best. And so for me, you know, it's personal, but at the end of the day, I got a job to do. And for me to be where I need to be, I also need to know what I'm doing out there. So just the film study, the preparation takes full hand. So if I continue to do that, continue to practice well, then everything else is going to take care of itself.
One thing he'll get a chance to do on Sunday that obviously is a lot different is go up against Jawan Taylor, who was his teammate the last time these 2 teams faced off. So what does Allen think, final thought here from Josh, about potentially having some of those one-on-one matchups with Taylor?
Dealing with Jawan, man, I've been knowing Jawan since college. You know, we've been having battles way back from Florida and Kentucky. And then, you know, obviously we get drafted together. So having those battles with him up there, and then also training with him in Orange Park, and being able to do that with him, it's just awesome. And I'm excited to play against him. Trayvon is as well. Trayvon been going against him since last year as well. So he knows what we can do. We know what he can do. So we continue to do what we're supposed to do. I think we'll have a good opportunity to go win some games.
For Josh personally, okay, like you want to win and you want to – there are myriad reasons why you want to play well, right? And they have to do with team success and all that. But when you go to free agency next year, you go, hey, look, who got the big money contract as a offensive tackle last year?
Yep.
Got $80 million. What did I do to him? What am I worth? If I can do this to this guy, what am I worth to you? You know, maybe that's to the Jags. He'll be saying that. Maybe it's to somebody else. Who knows how it'll all play out in the end. But I want him in position to have that leverage because it means he performed at that level. But this is a great opportunity for him to go out there and, you know, just match up against one of the guys who was the gems of the free agent market, as it turned out.
Yeah, you get a matchup against a teammate who was one of the gems in the free agent market and one of the marquee games in the league this week, right? Like, this is one that everyone's going to have eyes on, what's going to happen between Kansas City and the Jaguars. Coach Peterson, you'll hear him in a moment talking about Zay Jones. We'll hear from Zay as well here in just a second. But Coach Peterson was asked about the chemistry that he's seen develop between Trevor Lawrence and Zay Jones.
You know, the reason he's so reliable, number one, the quarterback trusts him. He knows where he's going to be. They've spent now, you know, going on 2 years together. Zay is a tremendously hard worker. He's smart. He's an intellectual guy that just understands ball. And he and Trevor have logged a lot of hours, you know, throwing and catching, you know, off to the side and working on different things. And, you know, there's that trust factor, right, with him.
Man, I tell you, I feel like I've been preaching the gospel of Zay Jones all summer to people. Like, oh, my gosh, you got to be excited with Ridley and Kirk. I'm like, you should see Zay. You really should see Zay. And it's hard for people to wrap their head around that, Tony. It really is. Like, hey, Zay Jones. Did you look at his numbers last year? Yeah, but. Well, all right. Did you see what he did in week 1 here?
Yeah.
You know, he basically played as the number 2 receiver, at least in terms of productivity. And he had one of the highlight catches of the weekend. And while Zay will be looking ahead here to the Chiefs momentarily, he does walk us through that one-handed touchdown catch.
It was like a curl concept that we had, and we have the ability to put a double move on it if we want. And Trevor made the call, and so I kind of just ran up there, did my little stutter. I knew that in those situations the ball was going to be kind of put back further, so I had to try to maneuver around to get there, and was able to make an extending catch for my team, which was exciting.
Ho-hum, matter of fact. This was thrilling. I was very thrilled.
I
get
to
it.
Make an extending catch for my team.
It's week 1. You're a professional wide receiver. You're expected to make difficult catches. But, very, very matter of fact and business-like, let's say that.
Yeah, that was a professional route, throw, and catch. There's
and answer, for that matter.
No doubt about it for the Jags there on Sunday against the Colts. Zay Jones also was asked about, look, they lost twice to this Kansas City team last year, and he was asked if he still thinks about those losses.
No, I haven't, to be honest. I'm not reflecting on that. More so just staying present and positive. Okay, who's on their roster still? What do they like to do? Do they do a lot of zone? Do they do a lot of man? Things like that. And then begin to have these conversations with our coaches and players like, how do we see this game plan working and seeing things come together is more so where I'm at right now.
All right, one more from Zay here, and then we'll get a final thought from Doug Peterson. And how important is it for the Jags to have this opportunity, to have this be their home opener, to have the Chiefs coming to you, and what that can mean for this Sunday's game?
I think it's going to be awesome with our fan base being here. I know guys, families, and everyone's coming in town, and I know our fan base is very excited to have our home opener here with the energy that they bring. I think that's well known now across Jax, the type of environment that we can have here at home. So we're all super excited about that and jacked up, but when the ball gets snapped, we still got to execute and do what we have to do.
It was a thrill late in the season last year to be driving down there for that game against the Titans and to see Jacksonville show up the way it did.
Big time.
Right? And then be there for that playoff game and to, again, have that same kind of atmosphere and feeling while you're going down there. It's not something that the team has created for the fans to be excited about for a long time, right? And it does feel like going into this season, it's back. Right, and I can't wait to see what that's going to look like for the first time at home in 2023 with all the expectations. It is the Chiefs coming into town. It's going to be Sunday at 1 as opposed to Sunday night like it was a couple of times at the end of the season last year, but I expect it to be bananas on Sunday against the Chiefs. And Coach Peterson was asked just a couple days ago how important he feels like the home crowd is going to be against the Chiefs on Sunday.
I think it's going to be everything. I know it's an early start, but it might be a little bit warm. But we'd love to have a full crowd. It's anytime you start your season at home with the defending Super Bowl champions, it's exciting. It's exciting for us and as a team, and obviously for our fans. And expect a full crowd, and just looking forward to Sunday.
All right, on the text line, got some pictures from the alumni event yesterday. Got another one going to be my 7-year-old daughter's first major sporting event. Can't keep count of my own. This might be the most hyped event either of us will ever see in person. I don't know about ever. Save it for when we head to Vegas in January or February or whatever the exact date of the Super Bowl is. But I got you. Indoctrinate them young, get them going. Another one, Zay Jones turned out to be a great free agent signing. You're damn right he did.
Yes, he did.
And for the amount of money you invested now is like a pittance. It's like 30-40% of what the top receivers make in the National Football League. I'm not saying Zay is one of the top guys, but he's certainly proven to be a very solid starter in the National Football League. How do you think the Jags handled Juwan and his false starts and standing next to Mahomes in the backfield from Justin in Lynchburg, Virginia? I would think they put the league on a high alert, hey, watch for this. And you got to be a little bit careful, though. You can't get too caught up in pointing that out. You got to play, right? You got to count on the refs to do that. But I would think there are going to be some occasions you see Juwan Taylor move and everyone's going to go ba-da-da-da and point their finger and try to get that called. And it'd be great if they got an early one on him, get in his head a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know he does it, and we all know the league, for whatever reason, has let him kind of get away with it. And, I think some offensive tackles are given a little bit of that grace to kind of get that early half-step start.
Yeah.
he seems to take it to the extreme.
He does. And look, if you're one of the coaches on the Jaguars staff, I get the feeling that every coach that has played against Jawan Taylor for the last 5 years has gone to the officials and said, you got to watch for this.
Probably so.
Right? Like, I don't think it's new for the officials to go into a game with Jawan Taylor playing right tackle,
I'd
left
still
tackle.
do it.
Right? And them to be told, you got to watch for this. And then they watch it and go, I think he's timing it. Right? Like, it just feels like the officials have made that decision when it comes to Jawan Taylor. Now, the lining up the way that he does, make him line up on the center's waistline. That's not difficult to do. And if he's not doing that in the game, throw the flag on him and get it corrected. Like, it's just something that the officials have to do. I'm sure coaches on all these teams are making that a point of emphasis going into the week. By the way, Doug Peterson, as we said, is speaking this morning. He shared some of the injury news from around the team. A couple of notes here. He says that safety Antonio Johnson with his hamstring remains, quote, a ways away. Says that he's still progressing. No football stuff yet for him. As far as guard Brandon Sheriff, his ankle, he said he remains day-to-day, probably won't practice today for the team. He said Luke Fortner, who's dealing with a lower body injury, will practice today for the team.
Okay, yeah, I think you and I were in the minority on Sheriff. Everyone on Monday was like, oh, he'll play. I don't know. You know, the thing stiffens up over the course of the week, and it is only week 2. And granted, it's a big game. They're all big games.
They're all big.
Right, and certainly the ones later in the season, you hope have that extra meaning to them, and I don't know. We'll see how that all goes.
I'm not surprised he's not practicing today. Like,
No.
tomorrow's the big day.
I'm sure he's willing
Yeah.
to give it a go if he can. That doesn't mean that's going to be the best medical decision for the team. I don't know what it will be either, but we'll find out as the week progresses. All right, John Ogier coming up on the other side, 641-1010. If you want to get in on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, you're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Pella Windows and Doors. You should know by now how I feel about Pella. I have them in my own home. I trust them. I think they've really beautified my home, made it more energy efficient. I recommend them to you all the time. They have great design, the strongest warranties in the business, and the highest quality products. Man, I tell you what, I couldn't say more nice things about Pella Windows and Doors. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home yourself, or maybe a trade professional working with clients, I know that the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. How do you get started? How about visiting PellaJacks.com or just swing by the Pella showroom? They're on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
It's another Weight Loss Wednesday. Awaken 180 Weight Loss in the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios, where the pros go. Be among the first to hear what you need to know on game day on the famous Automotive Tire and Quick Lube Kickoff Show. Live from Tailgaters Parking. Presented by Clearwater Irrigation and Gatorade Fast Twitch. 5 hours before kickoff on 1010XL.
Legally Blonde is now at the Alhambra Theater for the first time ever, and the ladies from Helmets and Heels will be broadcasting at the Alhambra on Tuesday, October 10th from 6 to 8 p.m. So get the ladies together and get your tickets today at alhambrajacks.com. That's alhambrajacks.com.
Did you know that many cooling companies are now part of big conglomerates with no connection to Northeast Florida? In the past, they have concentrated on heating and air conditioning, but after a buyout, many add plumbing and electrical services. This raises their overhead, and those costs are passed on to the consumer. It's a case where bigger isn't better, it's just more expensive. Not Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Mike Merritt remains family-owned and operated. Merritt's focus has been the same for more than 30 years, keeping Northeast Florida comfortable, no matter what the weather. And there are no overtime or weekend surcharges. Mike Merritt's team does not work on commission. They repair only what needs repair and offer replacements only on what can't be fixed. And unlike at giant corporations where you can feel like just another number, with Mike Merritt, you'll feel like number one. Florida license CACO 50384.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Is your house exterior due for a wash? First Coast Home Pros has thousands of 5-star reviews for a reason. They get amazing results on even the toughest pressure washing jobs. Schedule now at firstcoasthomepros.com.
This is Walker Little of your Jacksonville Jaguars for Kingfish Pest Control.
I've been a Kingfish customer for a while now and can confirm that their service is incredible. Not only do they protect my family from pests, Kingfish's office staff is the friendliest around. They even email me a photo of the tech before arriving at my home. Kingfish Pest Control is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Be sure to enter their Swat That Kick sweepstakes for free pest control for 3 years. Go to kingfishpest.com and tell them Walker Little sent you.
Cold beer and good grub. That's what you'll get at Taps on 210. Just a great neighborhood feel where friends and family get together. Check out Taps in the Winn-Dixie Plaza, just west of 95 on County Road 210, proudly supporting our 9 After 5 weekly. Head there for a cold one.
Hi, this is Dave Barker with IHRS. If you're looking for a real solution to your thinning hair or hair loss, call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS.
What's causing your hair to fall out? Can your hair grow back? Get to the root of your problem with IHRS Hair and Scalp Analysis. This analysis magnifies your hair and scalp 400 times to see what procedures can restore your hair. Call right now for your free analysis, 904-777-IHRS, or visit hairforme.com. Stop wasting money on solutions that don't work. IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years. They are the only clinic to offer the trademarked multi-unit hair grafting PRP platelet-rich plasma and the NeoGraft FUE hair transplant procedure.
Schedule your free hair and scalp analysis today. Call 904-777-IHRS or visit hair4me.com. Hairforme.com.
Do you have a VA loan? In this housing market, homeowners with VA loans have access to a ton of instant cash. Hey, it's Prosser here. Do you need cash to pay off credit cards and other high-interest loans? Does a check for 80 or 90 grand sound about right now? Well, Loan Pronto is helping veterans every day get the money they need with a quick and easy zero-cost cash-out refi with zero closing costs. With a VA loan, it's really cool because you can access up to 100% of your home's value. Use that money to pay off credit cards, home equity lines, car loans, consolidate all your payments into one check per month, and close in 2 weeks. Most homeowners who do this end up cutting their overall monthly payments by $800. Loan Pronto's all-digital process makes it fast and easy. They're doing loans with super low APRs, and they love working with veterans. Call now to see what your options are. Call Loan Pronto at 999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. I'm Molly McDonald for 1010XL. This update is brought to you by Everbank. The third-ranked Seminoles kick off their ACC opener against Boston College this Saturday at 12 p.m. FSU's defense will have a tough task of defeating Boston College's QB Thomas Castellanos, as they are aware of his athleticism after attempting to recruit him as a running back. Coach Norvell shared his thoughts leading up to the matchup.
Open up ACC play, going on the road, playing, a Boston College team, that's, tough. They're physical. Their offensive line, they've got a lot of, guys back. Last year they really dealt with a lot of injuries. It was tough and challenging for them. They're going to try to create movement up front.
It's 81 degrees at 11:03. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Nobody knows the Jags like Johnny O.
Oh No's. Brought to you by
Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
On 1010XL.
I'll be honest, Tony, I really hadn't looked at the standings until right now from our first Jaguars Today Fantasy League last week. But I see Duck Vital, which is Duraco, way down at the bottom of the standings.
Yeah.
Took a big L. I see Taylor Dahl at the very bottom of the standings.
Ouch.
Oof. Rough. And I see our man Ozone, Johnny O, with a woeful 0-1. John, what are you doing playing players who are not scoring any points?
Well, I was leading going into Monday, and then I got routed. I played T. Higgins.
T. Higgins and Dallas Goedert.
That's terrible. After the game Sunday, after the Jags game Sunday, I'm on the plane, and I sort of had a minute and checked, and goose egg.
Yeah. John wants you to know he has no idea that other games are being played while the Jaguar game is on because he is laser focused on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
There's honestly some truth to that, and I'm not. I didn't know the Bengals had just gotten smoked until I got on the plane, and then I didn't think that boded well for me.
No, you don't have a bunch of people in the press box chirping. Like I know when I sat in the press box, that's all I ever heard was chirping about who scored what. Like Cleveland would be up 7-3. Who scored it, Tony? Who scored it?
Yeah.
Who scored it?
Yeah.
Who got the touchdown? Who got the touchdown? It's all anybody ever cared about, John.
Yeah.
So not T. Higgins, apparently. The answer was not T. Higgins. Whoever scored this week, it wasn't T.
Yeah, I did. But you tell me I need to bench T. Higgins. You're benching Joey Ballgame.
No, I'm not. I'm saying in a league, I've got. I'm considering playing Jordan Love over Joe Burrow. You only play one quarterback. It's going to be hard to bench T. Higgins. You play a bunch of receivers. So
yeah, if he scores a 0 again, it's not going to be hard. I'm just going to move that little thing in the app.
Well, if he scores 0 again, it would probably be an easy decision. I would agree with you. All right, let's put that in the rear view. What's the mood like the last couple of days? I imagine not like celebratory, like they just won a playoff game, but probably I would imagine pretty happy to start the season off 1-0.
Yeah, and happy with that. Felt like something they ought to do. Did. I think Doug has done a good job in a year and a half here of sort of establishing the professionalism of the franchise again, if you will. And professional football teams know that that's the sort of game you sometimes get in week one, and that it's not style points, all the cliches you hear. It's not about how you win. It's about getting through that first week. And, a good step 1-0 now going into a game that, again, they're trying to keep it in perspective, could have playoff implications down the road. But it's not so big that you get lost in it and realize it's one game.
Is there anyone that you most want to hear from when they open up the locker room again today, knowing that just looking back one last time, maybe at last week, or looking ahead to this game specifically on Sunday against the Chiefs?
Not necessarily. More just sort of how they're looking at it as a whole. I'll probably try to talk to a couple of players about, that Doug said it best this morning. He put into good perspective of, look, it's an important game, but he used the Chiefs as an example because he's been there and is so familiar with them. They always finish fast, and they always finish strong here for the playoffs. And that seems to be Doug's theme more than anything early this year, is being a team that's in position to make a fast finish matter for them. So I'm assuming we'll hear stuff like that of, hey, this is big, but I don't think you're going to hear them. They want atmosphere at the bank, but I don't think you're going to hear them talk about, we've got to get this. This is the biggest game of our season. I don't sense a tone like that, nor should they approach that. Outside of this game, they've also got big games here against the Bengals, the Bills, the 49ers. For this franchise, this needs to be one of a bunch of big games, not sort of like New England felt 5 years ago.
By the time we get to the Bengals, T. Higgins will still be on 0 points for the year, so I don't know how big that game's going to be, Tony. Let's be quite honest.
And you'll still be starting Jordan Love.
I may be. If that's the case, I probably will. But all kidding aside, there is some, changing in terms of you think this is going to be the biggest game. And I get it. Those have been contenders in the AFC for several seasons now. But we don't know. Maybe the Bills kind of start to fall apart a little bit this year. Or maybe the Bengals do, for that matter. I don't think the Chiefs will, but or even fall apart may be too strong. Maybe it turns out the Browns are the team that was lurking on the schedule that we didn't pay enough attention to. Or you know what I mean? You just don't quite know. It does happen.
NFL people always tell you, you don't really know how tough your schedule is until about week 5, when it sort of sorts this thing out.
That's fair.
And that's when you sort of know, okay, this is what we're dealing with. Now, everybody's going to say they assume X, Y, and Z. And usually right now when teams have quarterbacks, you can assume it, which is why I still feel like it's safe to assume that the Bengals and the Bills are going to be a tough out, because those guys aren't all of a sudden bad.
I'm not assuming that they won't be.
Right. And you feel like those have the best quarterbacks in that division, so you got to watch out for them. So I'm anticipating those two teams being a 1-week aberration. But it's like you say, you never know. And there's the Ravens, there's the 49ers. I mean,
sure.
There's some high-point games.
Look awesome.
that if you beat the Chiefs and lose all those, then what have you done by beating the Chiefs? So it's important to keep that in perspective.
No doubt, but if I could pick one of all these, I'd pick this one.
Yeah. Yeah, because
they're the team that's been the gold standard in the AFC for a little while now.
And as much as I'm saying you got to, be aware of getting 2 up, there is the reality of if you win this and you have that 2-game lead, Jaguars go 10-5 the rest of the way. The Chiefs have to get to 13-2 to get past them.
Correct.
13-2 is a big number to go get.
Yes.
So,
right, in the remaining 15 games, they'd have to win 13 of them.
Right,
Yep.
so that makes it that's a big hike for them to get ahead of the Jags. They're
Huge opportunity game for them to put themselves in a fantastic early season position. And we get it. It's early season. Jags lose 5 in a row, and none of it will matter.
Sure.
But, you don't know if it'll matter until later on in the season. And when you look back and say, man, we got that one. We got that one. We got that one. The more of those you stack up, the more likely it is that it will have a big impact. John, before we go to break here, just what are your thoughts on the offensive line play in general? I'll just ask it like that.
Not as good as they wanted. I thought they did a nice job sticking with the run. I got a lot of criticism in the O's on why they run so much it's not working. They believe you stick with it and then you get stuff like you got at the end of the game. So I thought they did a nice job at the end there. Not as much as they wanted, but I do think we maybe looked past a little bit how good Buckner is and how good the interior of that line is. The bad news is Chris Jones pretty good too.
And by the way, the ends played great last week as well.
So I didn't think it was as much of a disaster as the emails that I got indicated, but it's one of those areas that they definitely have to clean up, and it was not as good as they wanted.
All right, we'll come back, more reflections on what we saw and looking ahead to the Jags matchup with the Chiefs. If you've got a question or a comment, 641-1010 on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Of course, don't forget, we've got our Twitter poll question out there today. The Chad and Sandy Real Estate question of the day is asking you which of these things is the most important factor if the Jags are going to beat the Chiefs in Week 2. Is it covering Travis Kelce? Is it Etienne and Bigsby combining for 125-plus on the ground, pressuring Patrick Mahomes, or protecting Trevor Lawrence? Over 420 votes in on that, so you can continue to cast your ballots if you haven't already at MD_1010XL. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey on a Weight Loss Wednesday for my new friends at Awaken 180 Weight Loss. I consider them friends. Any company that gives me a promise and keeps it and delivers on its promises, they're good in my book, and Awaken 180 has done that. My first couple weeks on the program have been absolutely phenomenal. I've lost 16 pounds in 2 weeks. Look, Underdog's not going to guarantee that kind of success every week ongoing forever. I don't expect that. But 4 to 5 pounds a week until you hit your goal weight, that is Underdog's promise that they can get you in position to do exactly that. It's not a crash diet. It's not a diet at all. I'm eating more to lose weight than I have before I went with the Awaken 180 weight loss program. So I'm eating all the time. I'm eating 5 times a day. It's the frequency. It's what you eat. It's when you eat. It's how much you eat. It's all these things that factor in. They pair me with a great coach, Mandy. You're going to have your own coach if you go the Awaken 180 route as well. And they're going to help you not only lose the weight, but they have a program to help you maintain that weight loss for life. How do you get involved? Awaken 180 Weight Loss, the long-term solution for weight loss. You can reach them at 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800, or check them out online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss. Bold picks and safe picks.
It's a bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off for them.
Listen for the Otterson Wealth Advisors risk-reward picks of the week all day Friday on 1010XL. Otterson Wealth Advisors, your goals, our expertise.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS right here in Jacksonville is the only hair transplant clinic in the country that offers multi-unit hair grafting, FUE Neograft hair transplants, and the 45-minute effective PRP treatments.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
Thank
you, IHRS.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Schedule a free evaluation and find out how to grow your hair back and keep the hair you have. Call 904-777-IHRS. Take the first step to restoring your hair today. Visit hairforme.com.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years.
Call now for a free in-person or virtual evaluation. 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about enjoying your life. So often we can go through life trying to make a living instead of making a life. Yes, it's good to be goal-oriented, but let me encourage you today that our days are numbered. We're not promised tomorrow, so go out and take time to be with your family. You'll always have your work, but you won't always have your family.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
Toilet or shower not draining? Water bill high? So many issues you want to cry? Call Mr. Rooter of Jacksonville. Have your number 2 business serviced by your number 1 plumber. Let us do your dirty work. Call us today.
Mr. Rooter. There's certain places you know if you go in, they got what you're looking for, like Gate Convenience Stores and Cold Modelo's. That's the ticket. Or get on the craft side of things with something from Bold City or Sweetwater. Hit the cooler at Gate, full of choices and all of them good.
Players Grill Oakleaf is now open for business. Grab the family and get to Players Grill Oakleaf off of Oakleaf Plantation Parkway and try the best tasting wings you've ever had. Players Grill, where the neighborhood meets.
What's the weekend in sports look like? I'm Dan Hicken, and I'll give you my take on the Weekend with Dan. Find it on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan, brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
What's your name? Leonard Skinnard. Live in concert. Second show added by popular demand. October 5th at the St. Augustine Amphitheater. Celebrating 50 years of Leonard Skinnard. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Money Pages is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. With 20 years of helping local businesses grow, Money Pages is Jacksonville's trusted multimedia leader. Money Pages has extensive experience in magazine publishing, direct mail, digital marketing, and branding. The Money Pages complete marketing system provides advertisers with integrated fulfillment to promote your business with multiple marketing channels. To learn more about advertising locally with a brand who knows Jacksonville, visit moneypages.com.
Ackerman Urology offers the most advanced options for improving men's health and vitality. Their board-certified urologists treat all prostate disease and sexual health issues. Call their new location on Atlantic and Hodges or visit ackermanurology.com.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
1010XL will be live from Racetrack on Pritchard Road, Thursday, noon to 3 with XL Primetime. Show your CDL to win Racetrack gift cards worth up to $500. Thursday, noon to 3 from Racetrack on Pritchard Road. Racetrack, whatever gets you going.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars.com's John Osher.
Brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, we see all of you out there in the YouTube chat, reading us and all that good stuff. Appreciate that, and letting us know where you're listening from. The one guy was asking, when do we get to hear from Holiday? Then somebody pointed out, well, he was on last Friday's show. He's like, oh, damn it, that's the one I missed. Go back and listen on demand if you want to. And as I think Brian's right, he says Holiday
put the metal to the pedal, my friends.
He did put the metal to the pedal. Holiday did set the bar very high on his first call. It's like one of those that you're never going to quite capture the magic of again necessarily. I shouldn't speak for Holiday. By the way, Holiday's not on staff. So he's kind enough to check in with us when the schedule allows. He's a great friend of the program. No question about that. So, all right, Johnny, offensive line maybe not as great as we had hoped it would be in week one. It's only week one. Defensively, as just overall, with the exception of certain moments in the game, I thought was so much better than I expected him to be. And some people have made the point, you're going up against a rookie quarterback. What do you expect? Well, sure you are. But
you play who you play.
Right, exactly. And they scored 14 points.
Yeah, and I thought it big, even beyond the 14 points, if you watch that game and were thinking about feeling the momentum of the game, the defense came up big in big spots, meaning
huge.
First half, I think it was 3 a coastal they were driving, a couple fourth down stops. Then in the second half, after they gave up the 39-yarder to Pittman, the 5 series after that, when the Jags were sort of, they lost the lead because of the offense and then couldn't quite get back. Those next 5 series, if I have the stats right, I think the Colts had 2 yards total. So big moment when the game could have turned. You give up 1, you're down 3, you give up 1, and now you're double digits trying to come back. They scored more than that, but it felt like if they got down double digits, it was going to be hard in that situation to get back in it. On that front, defense comes up when it matters. And right now in the NFL, that's more important than stats. If you come up with big plays, especially when you have an offense like this team does, that's what you want out of the defense.
Well, and everyone has whatever your level of expectation is for the defense, right? And whatever it was coming into this season, I imagine for the vast majority of fans, if they're looking at it being honest, they outperform whatever your expectation was for the defense week 1 against the Colts. And I think a large part of that, John, is the guys that you expected to be your 3 best players on that side of the ball played like the 3 best players on that side of the ball on Sunday, right? Tyson Campbell was great. Josh Allen was great. Foye was great. And you got the sack from Trayvon Walker on top of that. Like from whatever your expectations were coming into the season, week 1, the 3 guys that have to show up week to week for them to have a chance on that side of the ball showed up week 1, and you got some plays from some other spots too.
Yeah, and you kind of want to wait for it to be a trend before you sort of, go down a path. But I thought Fotokasi played well.
Yeah.
Didn't get the sack, but did everything except get the sack when he got
broke my heart when he didn't bring him down.
Yeah, so
I wanted it for him bad.
But when you're looking for, is this guy playing at a high level? My guess is the coaches are looking at that saying, okay, that's sack stuff, if you will. And the Colts multiple times had a tough time getting yardage up the middle.
Yeah.
Without Devon Hamilton, I think that was a little bit of a concern going in. And the Colts offensive line is not the elite line that it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago, but it's not bad. So to get those stops against that, a really good start for the defense. And to me, Josh Allen, I've gotten a couple emails, hey, don't give him that much credit. Some of those were run out of bounds. Look, over the course of a season, a defensive lineman is going to have some near-miss sacks. Give him credit when he has them.
All right, why don't we do this? Take a quick time out in the direction of Tony Smith, and he'll take you around the National Football League.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
The New York Jets got the diagnosis of a torn Achilles confirmed yesterday for quarterback Aaron Rodgers. The Jets had already swapped first-round picks with the Green Bay Packers this year, along with sending second- and sixth-round picks this year in the draft in exchange for a fifth-round pick coming back to the Jets from the Packers as part of that deal. If Rodgers had played 65% of the Jets' offensive snaps this season, the Jets would have sent Green Bay a first-round pick next year. But with the injury to Rodgers, the Packers will now be getting a second-round pick from the Jets as part of that trade. Philadelphia has placed linebacker Nakobe Dean on injured reserve and activated linebacker Nicholas Morrow from their practice squad. They also signed linebacker Rashaan Evans in free agency to their practice squad. Evans was 14th in the league in tackles last year. Pittsburgh head coach Mike Tomlin said on Tuesday that wide receiver Deontay Johnson will probably miss their Week 2 game on Monday Night Football. 41-year-old offensive tackle Jason Peters has been signed to the Seattle practice squad. Peters played in 10 games last year for the Dallas Cowboys. The Minnesota Vikings have signed running back Myles Gaskin from their practice squad to their active roster. And in a story that got me smiling this morning, the Carolina Panthers are signing running back Tariq Cohen to their practice squad. Cohen has not played in the league since 2020, but he's going to get his shot, it looks like, there with the Panthers.
Yeah, he has had the worst injury luck. He's had such family tragedy. He's an easy guy to root for.
No doubt.
Hoping for the best for him when he doesn't play the Jaguars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
You know? All right, let's get back to it here. We talk about that run defense doing a really solid job. I mean, the Colts don't have the most imposing running back stable without Jonathan Taylor, but you do have the big running quarterback. The Chiefs, I think, tried to run it a decent amount against Detroit because they didn't have as good of options with Kelsey out of the lineup. I think it's fair to say if you let Isaiah Pacheco, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Jerick McKinnon, any of those guys have a big day, it's bad for this football team, right? I mean, it's just because you're giving up something that you don't expect to give up, and then you're going to have to start paying attention to that, and it's going to be hard enough to stop Mahomes to Kelsey as it is.
Yeah, you assume going in that Kelsey Mahomes are going to sort of get theirs, and you need to cut down everything else to have a chance.
Right.
So, yeah, you don't want to – you're going to give up a few things in the running game because you're concentrating on the other guys so much, but you can't let them define the game. And they didn't – the Chiefs, sort of like the Jags a little bit, struggled in short yardage last week. They have not – that's been an area of concern of theirs coming in. So you want to – in games like this, it's so much situations. When you get them into a 3rd and 1, the Chiefs, or a 4th and 1, and they go for it, you make those stops. We saw how big that was the other day. You make 4th down stops, changes the whole game, where a yard makes a huge difference in how we're talking about things on Wednesday. That feels like the same kind of deal with the Chiefs running game this week.
We'll hear from Andy Reid, we expect today at some point, talking about, look, they're going to get Chris Jones back, it sounds like, this week, obviously, with him being back in the building. Travis Kelce, we haven't heard anything that makes me think we're not going to see him on Sunday, but I'm sure we'll get an update on where he is in his return after not being able to play last week as well. Just how much does that change the way you have to get ready for a Chiefs team, even if both those guys are limited for whatever the different reasons might be? Kelce coming off the injury, Jones after not being around throughout the entirety of preseason. But even with those guys limited in whatever capacity they may be limited, how much does that change what you have to do to get ready for this team?
It probably doesn't change preparation that much, but I know what you're asking. I think what it changes is you can probably assume or hope that they may not have the every series impact that it felt like those guys had last year during the playoff game. Because you would think that Kelsey's not going to be high-level Kelsey with a bone bruise. Chris Jones, you would think, probably wouldn't play his normal allotment of snaps, but they're big-moment players, and it's a big-moment sport, big-moment game. So you have to worry about what they will do on key plays more than they will throughout the course of the game, which is just as important.
And like Tony pointed out early, all the drops that they had, all the mistakes that they made in that game. Detroit's a good football team.
Yeah.
At least they're expected to be a good football team this year.
Fast, everything.
So they made a lot of mistakes. They didn't have 2 of the premier players in the league suiting up for them, and any one of those balls doesn't bounce off Kadarius Toney's hands. Maybe they win the football game. Certainly the pick 6 would be a big
they're
one.
good.
I mean, it wouldn't have had they come back and won that game, everyone would have been saying, yeah, well, it's Mahomes. You know,
Right.
it's just, that's what they do, right? So they were that close to doing that as it was.
Well, and that's who he is. We've talked so much, understandably, about Kelsey and Jones because they're the uncertainties. The certainty's the guy that matters.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Look, I thought, and if you watch the game, I think most people who did agreed, Aiden Hutchinson terrorized that offensive line, right? Doesn't have to be Trayvon, but somewhere between Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker, we need to be seeing Jaguar defenders exerting that kind of influence up front. Tony.
Yeah, like we were talking about when Logs was in with us on Tuesday, right? Like it's when you're preparing for Anthony Richardson, the game plan is stay in your lane, right? Like he doesn't get outside you. That's your job, Josh. That's your job, Trayvon, right? You're not going to have as many snaps where you snap it and go get him, right? Against the Chiefs, go get him, right? And if he gets outside of you.
He's tough in that situation, and if you just play go get him, all of a sudden he's getting outside you.
Sure,
outside
but I
the
think
pocket,
you can
making
live
plays.
with him doing that to you a couple times if it means we hit him 3 or 4
Sure.
more times in the game, right? Like the risk is worth the reward in that situation. With Anthony Richardson, the risk is that guy's going 50.
Right.
And that's the only threat the Colts present to us is that guy going 50.
And I think the thing you said at the end there is what's probably most pertinent. The only way they were going to beat you felt like, over the long haul, was if you got out of your lane and all of a sudden he did what Mariota did a few years back.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the 80-yard run that Mariota had. That's what you sort of thought that Richardson can do to beat you. Mahomes' reality is you've got to rush him a little disciplined. There's so many ways he can beat you that you just can't focus on one.
Right, he's not going to go 80,
right?
But he'll go 15 on 3rd and 9.
Yes, he will.
2 or 3 times on a drive
and
just
it
break
will-
your heart.
Oh, just breaks your back, breaks
Right.
your spirit, breaks everything.
Because you've done everything else right. It's the old
Yeah.
thing. You come off the field and you look at the coach and say, what could we have done different? And the coach goes, no.
He made a play.
Or tackle him.
Yeah.
I
Sure.
guess. Yes.
But, I mean, that's you can do everything right, and you miss one tackle because he's elite, and you're frustrated because, well, there's not much more we could have done.
Right. And if you thought Anthony Richardson like throwing a left-handed pass, all right, where do you see Mahomes
Right.
coming up
Yeah.
this week? All right, hey, where do you see Trevor, for that matter? Hopefully they're saying that in Kansas City. Speaking of Trevor Lawrence, he's one of the featured aspects of today's question of the day. What a shock on a show called Jaguars Today that Trevor Lawrence would be in the middle of it. Nearly 500 votes in on this one so far, asking which of these is the most important factor if the Jags are going to win this week. Cover Travis Kelce, Etienne and Bigsby, big day on the ground, pressuring Patrick Mahomes, protecting Trevor Lawrence. All of those are important. Which is the single biggest factor? We'll debate that when we return on the other side and look at what you've said about that very subject so far this morning as well. John Osier's here with Fat Tony and Dylan Denmark. I'm Mike Dempsey. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey once again for Underdog Fantasy. No, you're not going to draft a whole new team here in Week 2 necessarily with Underdog, but what you can do is go in and spend 10, 30 seconds, whatever, and pick a couple of players to go off this week. In their pick'em game, Underdog's pick'em game, you pick between 2 and 5 players. You select whether they'll go higher or lower on one of the posted stats. Then you do what you usually do on game day. You kick back and you watch football. You can win up to 20 times your money in a single contest by going 5 for 5. It's a fantasy game, but there is real money at stake, and it's fun and completely legal in the state of Florida, which is very important as well. So head over to Underdog's easy-to-use mobile app or website. Sign up using promo code 1010XL. Not only will Underdog double your first deposit up to $100, but they also will have a mystery special pick in their Pick'em lobby for new customers. So check that out as well. It's basically giving you a freebie heading into their Pick'em game. Remember, that's Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code 1010XL and get your first deposit of $10 or more matched. Doubled, in fact, up to $100. You must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ncpgambling.org.
It's another Weight Loss Wednesday. Awaken 180 Weight Loss in the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios, where the pros go. 1010XL brings you Bulls Bulldogs football.
Coach Tobin of the Bulls Bulldogs. Trinity Christian comes to Skinner Barco Stadium Friday night, and you can listen live on 1010 AM.
Got a big occasion coming up? Think small cakes. Need to bring treats to the office party? Think small cakes. Looking for something delicious for desserts? Think small cakes. Small cakes is perfect for any big or small occasion. They serve delicious cupcakes, cookies, ice cream, and brownies in a modern and elegant space. And with daily specials each month, you're always finding something new to try. Small Cakes also makes cakes for birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, corporate events, and any celebration. So visit smallcakesjacks.com to learn more.
I want to make our backyard into a paradise. But where do I start?
A few people I know chose CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. They do it all: fire pits, pergolas, and custom outdoor kitchens.
That sounds convenient, but I don't want a half dozen subcontractors milling around.
CSS is a licensed contractor, so they do 100% of the work themselves, from start to finish.
That's perfect. Let's get an estimate.
Well, I already toured their showroom last week.
Ha! Well, what are we waiting for? Let's do it.
CSSOutdoor.com.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, how does a diamond or a piece of jewelry have its price authenticated by an independent appraisal?
David, simply put, there's a difference between a selling price and an appraisal value. In the estate and auction business, you almost always see a new replacement price put on an old used piece. But when you have a new piece with a higher replacement price, you have to wonder why somebody would sell you something for a lot less than it's worth, unless maybe it's not worth what they said. Let me tell you a story about what happened at Underwoods the other day. We were putting into stock a 1-carat diamond that had an EGL report on it. When we opened the report, we found a separate appraisal for the diamond by Universal Gemological Services. They appraised the diamond for $7,230, which we found interesting because the diamond was in our stock at $5,100. I can honestly say that the diamond would never sell anywhere for $7,230. So that type appraisal is worthless.
That's Underwoods, where they make it a point to know the truth about diamonds in San Marco, Avondale, the shops of Ponte Vedra, Underwood Jewelers.
Did you know that hot weather is worse for your car than cold? It's true. Extreme heat can evaporate your battery's fluids and cause corrosion. If you're having a hard time starting your engine, visit Batteries Plus. We'll test your battery free of charge. We have plenty of replacement batteries on hand. Plus, we offer installation on most makes and models, or upgrade to Premier installation for added protection. Stop by your nearest location or shop our selection online at batteriesplus.com.
The Big G stands for Georgia.
Keep up with the latest Bulldog news and notes. Listen for the Bulldog Report.
Brought to you by Travis Cummings and the Bailey Group on 1010XL.
PRI Productions is the official game day production partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hi, I'm Randy Goodwin, president and owner of PRI Productions. Chances are, if you've been in Jacksonville over the last 30 years, you've seen our work, from corporate and social events to concert production and much more. We have the equipment and expertise to make your next event memorable. So call the experts at the Jaguars Call. PRI Productions, bringing your ideas to life.
Safe Harbor Seafood and Market is one of the largest sources of fresh local seafood in the Southeast. This football season, when the family wants fresh seafood for game day, stock up at Safe Harbor Seafood Market and Restaurant, located in Old Mayport, or the new location in Crescent Beach. Award-winning seafood right in your backyard. Family-owned and operated for generations. Safe Harbor Seafood and Market. For store hours, go online to safeharbor-seafood.com.
This is Hayes Carlion for Spicklemeyer Insurance Agency. I was paying too much for car insurance, paying for things I didn't need. My friend John Spicklemeyer fixed all that for me with impeccable customer service. For all your car insurance needs, call John at 471-7155.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous, don't be scared. Go to carlsondentalgroup.com. That's carlsondentalgroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Even as prices seem higher on almost everything now, count on Famous Quick Lube to still have the best price in town. Get your oil changed, tires rotated, and fluids topped off super fast for the best price at Famous Quick Lube.
Hey, Jags fans, are you tired of roof leaks raining on your parade? Don't worry, Universal Roof and Contracting has got you covered. Their expert team of roofers will get your roof back in the game so you can focus on cheering on the Jags. Locally owned and operated, they've serviced Florida homeowners for over 30 years. Visit universalroof.com to schedule your free estimate today. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 1330747, CBC 1258484.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson met the media moments ago and spoke about Sunday's matchup against the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs.
It's a good football team. They're well coached. It's a disciplined group. Great players over there, great quarterback. You know, obviously with Chris Jones gives them a shot on defense there, and we'll see where Kelsey's at this week. And, you know, and we've got to look at what we did last year or what we didn't do. You know, there were some opportunities we missed, you know, that we've got to take a look at those and just make sure we capitalize. And we know it's going to be, you know, a 4-quarter physical football game.
Doug Peterson this morning, courtesy of Jaguars.com. Jaguars Chiefs, Sunday at 1 o'clock on 1010XL. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's Johnny O. Oh No's on Jaguars Today.
Brought to you by
Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars on 1010XL.
O does know a few things. By the way, what are you working on over at the website? Anything in particular?
Nothing in particular. Trevor talks this afternoon, and I'll have Trayvon Walker's on the Ozone podcast this week. And
nice.
I always enjoy talking to Trayvon, good kid. And then we have Bucky.
Have you already talked to him, or is that?
I have not. I'm supposed to talk to him tomorrow afternoon.
When's the podcast come out? Friday?
It'll come out Friday morning.
Okay.
And it's always fun. We had Zay Jones last week, and Zay was terrific. It's nice to be able to talk to these guys sort of in a calm environment, which I enjoy.
So you're saying we can expect a special next-level play from Trayvon Walker, at least one this week?
I'd like to think I have that influence over everybody in my life.
All right. That'd be nice to see.
So somebody complimented you on your coach's attire right there. Said, "Look, you looked like you just came right off the practice field."
Well, it's
coaching them up.
If so, this is like a 2017 or 16 circa. But thank you. I try to look my best.
We'll take some of that turnover differential from 2017. Keep that coming.
Yeah.
So
turnover differential on this team's pretty good. I mean,
so far.
Well, they did it. Last year had 27, had 3 more. So far, they're a team that does this under Caldwell. I mean, it's sort of a calling card of theirs. So
I'm just saying. I was thinking back to 2017, like what would we like to bring with us here? You know,
the touchdowns
pressure,
that year were
sacks,
out of sight.
Yeah, crazy stuff. All right, let's look at today's question of the day, presented by Chad and Sandy Real Estate. They guarantee you multiple offers on your home in 3 days, or they will sell it for free, which is a pretty good deal. ChadandSandy.com is where you can find out more about those folks. They present the question of the day daily here on Jaguars Today. So I'll ask the question, then we can go to the speech and debate clause portion of the program. Which of these things is the most important factor if the Jags are going to beat the Chiefs in Week 2? Cover Travis Kelce, big day on the ground for the Jags offense, pressure Patrick Mahomes, protect Trevor Lawrence. We have over 500 votes in so far. Why don't we fire up the old 10-10 take there, Pockets?
10-10
take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take. Brought to you by J&M Roofing Jacksonville, your storm restoration specialists.
Well, I get that all these things are somewhat connected, right? Like if Etienne and Bigsby are going off and they're picking up chunks of yardage and you're grinding clock and you're still having success moving the ball and you're scoring points at the end of those drives, Tony, who doesn't want that, right?
For sure.
That's fantastic.
That's one way to win.
That keeps Mahomes and Kelce off the damn field, right? And it is neutralizing the pass rush of the Kansas City front four, and it's doing a lot of positive things for you, including putting points on the board, you would suppose. But is it the most important factor, pressuring Patrick Mahomes? Well,
there's only one answer, right?
there's
You get
only
to
one
give
correct
one.
answer. That's
Yeah.
right, John. And it's whatever you think it is.
Well, that's whatever everybody thinks there is.
I've gotten truly on at least 3 out of 4 of these something to the effect of, if you didn't answer it this way, you're dumb.
Yeah.
Okay? And because this is how could anyone answer anything but this one?
The way I feel.
And then the next person would say the same thing, except they choose a different option in the poll. And that's fun. That's a good poll when you've got 2 or 3 strong options there. This is the way I'm looking at it. You could pressure Patrick Mahomes, but and when I think of pressure Patrick Mahomes, I'm thinking ultimately not just force him out of the pocket, but have some success, get him on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still overcome that. You know, you can have a day where you get sacked 5 times, you're on the run for your life, but you make a couple of big plays and still come through. So to me, it comes down to protect Trevor Lawrence, which is always huge, and cover Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm honestly torn between these two. And, you know, the people that put it this way, protect Trevor Lawrence is always job one. As long as Trevor is upright, you've got a chance to win the game. But protecting Trevor Lawrence doesn't necessarily guarantee that your receivers are getting open, you know, that you're able to match scores with Kansas City if they're going up and down the field. I feel like Kelce has been such a big thorn in this team's side and the matchups that we've had with him. I think it's very defensible and understandable. And when I say cover Travis Kelce, I'm thinking, like, he's going to get some. But if you can hold him to 65, 70 yards, that would be fantastic. Even if he's not playing full time, that would be fantastic. I don't know if the Chiefs have enough explosiveness to put up 30 points consistently if Kelce's not giving them big numbers, Tony. So granted, if you could only have one of these things, forget what leads to a victory. I'd say protect Trevor Lawrence because that's always job one, right? But is that the most likely thing to lead to a win against the Chiefs? It's a big critical factor. I think I might vote with the majority and say cover Kelce. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think here in a couple days when we do our keys, I may bring up this stat again. I mentioned it to you on a break earlier today. Travis Kelce, since he went into the lineup for the Chiefs have lost 32 games since 2014 out of 144. Right?
That's not a lot of losses.
They've lost 32 games out of 144. And 19 of those 32 losses in which Kelce played, he was held to 4 receptions or fewer. So his impact on the game had a big impact on whether or not the Chiefs won or lost on that given day. With that being said, again, that's something I'll probably bring up again when we get to keys on Friday for this football game. But with all the expectations going through this offseason, I don't know how many times between everyone in the building we've said this in some form. They got to be able to outscore the Chiefs, and they got to be able to outscore the Bills, and they got to be able to outscore the Bengals. Well, that starts this week. Outscore the Chiefs. And the key to outscoring the Chiefs is keeping 16 upright in the pocket and giving him a chance to do that. If I had to pick one, I'm with you, Demps. I'm even torn between which of the two I was going to go with ultimately, but I'm going with protect Trevor Lawrence is the key for them being able to outscore the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm with Tony. The Kelce thing is big. I guess my thing is Kelce had numbers and catches last year in the playoffs, but to me that game turned when the Jaguars had the ball twice in the third quarter with a chance to go tie it, and the offense couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes hurt, whatever. You held the Chiefs to 27, and you got 20. They need to get to 30 to me to beat this team. And so they're all important, like Mike said. You kind of stole my take. They need to outscore these elite teams. The Jaguars have so many weapons offensively that it's hard for me to see them not scoring 28 or more if Trevor has time to do it.
What's your gut right now on whether or not Brandon Sheriff plays?
I would say no, because that was my feeling when he got hurt and didn't come back in Sunday. I was thinking, okay, this is going to be a couple of weeks. The fact that they're talking about it more iffy, and the fact that Sheriff, from what I know of him and his history, is he played through a lot last year. He's one of the tougher guys. and he's one of the guys that the coaches will give him a little more leeway in terms of, hey, can you go? Okay, well then, okay, let's go with it if you can't injure it anymore. So I think there's a chance, but I would lean toward not.
By the way, this is crazy. When you look at that record that you're talking about, with Kelsey, 112-32, I think you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a 77% winning percentage. Which, when you compare that, like John Madden is one of the all-time great winning percentage coaches in the history of the National Football League. And when you roll in the postseason, Madden is 112, same exact amount of wins, 39-7.
Yeah.
So Madden was 731. They're playing at a clip that would be it's the greatest clip of all time if they were able to sustain it.
Yeah.
Like if one coach had just coached the Chiefs with Kelsey, they'd be the greatest winning percentage coach in the history of the National Football League.
Yeah, you can look at it from the other side of it, right? Like I highlighted the games they've lost when Kelsey goes for 4 or less. If you look at the other side of it, the Chiefs are 79-13 when he catches 5.
When he catches 5?
5 or more, they're 79-13.
I bet you in a lot of those games that they won, the other team protected their quarterback pretty well.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Like I just have this feeling, and look, in the end, if you could only pick one, I'd pick protect Trevor every single time, right? But again, we're talking about a single matchup here that it's just if we're late in the game and the Jags are up 3 in the fourth quarter and they're just getting it at will and Kelsey's getting free release off the line and catching it 7 yards downfield and picking up 15, it's so damn demoralizing.
Makes it hard. Yeah.
So damn demoralizing, man. But it's a good poll. Here are the numbers on the poll right now. Cover Kelsey getting 43.2%. Protect Trevor at 28.4%. Pressure Mahomes at 20.5%. And 8% say the key is Bigsby and Etienne, or Etienne and Bigsby combining for $125 plus on the ground. In other words, just a big day for the Jaguar ground game. If you haven't voted already, please do over at MD_1010XL. Over 500 of you have so far this morning, and we'll take a look at the final tally on that one tomorrow. But right now, let's say hello to XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Keeping 1010XL rolling with wholesale prices and premium service. Tire Outlet, Jacksonville's largest locally owned automotive repair shop.
All right, Matt Hayes has joined the conversation. Hello, Matt.
Good morning, guys.
What's up? How are you?
Doing great.
Midweek, what's cooking with Primetime?
Jags, college football. It's football all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
All right. Just checking. What do you think? If it came down to the key for Sunday, I'm not talking about the overall key. The key for the Jags is to make Trevor Lawrence as successful as possible, right? I mean, just that as the overall theme of a season or a career. But for this game on Sunday, is it more important the offensive line protection, or is it more important the defensive coverage on Kelsey?
I'm going to go protect the quarterback, affect the quarterback.
Okay.
I kind of say that in every big game. It's you got to protect your guy, you got to affect the other guy. And I think if they can do that, if they can affect Mahomes and quicker throws and, inaccurate throws, then I think you got a chance.
Yeah, I think Detroit probably affected Mahomes a little bit last week, but they didn't sack him a ton. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like not having Kelsey, they looked like a different offense, right? You're not going to be able to shut down Travis Kelsey, but if you can make him a mere mortal, I think that goes a long way towards knocking off Kansas City. What do you guys specifically have? Any guests or anything coming up today?
Yeah, we're working on one of my buddies, Chris Lowe, is going to come on and talk about the Gators in the Vols. A big week there in Gainesville, a big moment for Billy Napier. Like, if he wants these fans to buy in, he's got to win games like this. This is the game he's got to win.
All right, Matt will be listening. Have a good show.
All right, fellas.
Appreciate it. Johnny O, good stuff today. Appreciate you as well. And we'll look for that podcast coming up with Trayvon Walker, dropping on Friday. And then we'll see you Sunday.
T. Higgins.
T. Higgins. We'll all be wondering, is T. Higgins still in John's lineup come Sunday?
T. Higgins bounced
so
back
far,
week,
so good. I did my lineup.
I don't even know who they're playing. Who are they playing this week?
I don't know.
I have no idea. Like, I know the Jags play the Chiefs. And I know the Eagles play the Vikings on Thursday night.
Yes, they do.
And that's about it.
Okay.
I really and I knew the Jets play the Cowboys because everyone was going, oh, yeah, this will go great for Zach Wilson in week 2.
Bengals play the Ravens.
Cowboys. Bengals play the Ravens. Now we know a quarter of the schedule. Look at us.
You open up with those back-to-back division games, Yeah,
there's a Monday night doubleheader this week.
Yes, there is.
Right. This is nice. The Monday night doubleheader next week, too.
Wow.
Which makes me very happy. Why not every
Have they ever done 2 before?
Yes.
One season?
2 doubleheaders before?
I don't
In
think
what?
so.
I don't know if they have or not.
Not
That
with
sounds
it
like
being
there's-
on the schedule before the season. They may have had to because of weather
Yeah,
or
or
something.
COVID or
It sounds
something.
like they're testing that out as a trend to see if.
Why wouldn't you do it? I don't understand.
Yeah.
What more do you need to test out other than it's the greatest idea ever?
Well, if you did it every week, would people get tired? So
I don't know. Would they?
It's not
you
a
get one
special.
bad
Well, we
game?
wouldn't,
yeah,
but we're
okay, it's
weird.
not a special, but do you watch Monday Night Football because it's special? Because it's the last football you get to watch for the NFL week.
It's on. That's
It's
why I
on.
watch
It's
it.
on.
Yeah.
That's where exactly. And if there were 2 of them on,
like from Seinfeld, because it's what's on TV.
Yeah.
yes, that's fine. I think that's an acceptable answer. All right, John.
Guys, thanks.
Appreciate you. There you go. Check out Johnny O on Twitter at John Ozier, and of course in the digital pages over there at Jaguars.com. And now that I'm back on the men, Tony, I will get to see Osh and the crew on Sunday on game day. Looking forward to that. Big teal out. John, don't forget to wear your teal Sunday, John. Okay. And your coach's outfit right there. Any final thought, or are we good?
I think
wrapping
we're
up?
good.
All
Yeah.
right. Breakfast bowl tomorrow.
Yep.
So Maple Street, I'm told.
Sounds like Maple Street,
Kind of
yeah.
where breakfast is coming from. And we'll have D-Rock in. We'll hear more from Doug Peterson, some fresh stuff, some stuff from Trevor Lawrence. And on we go. Taking on the Kansas City Chiefs here for the Jaguars home opener on Sunday. For Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark, and John Ozier, I'm Mike Dempsey. Thanks as always for listening to Jaguars Today. Do stick around for XL Primetime. Coming up next, you're on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010.